Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video on my channel at Fire Gaming Project. So in this short video, I wanted to discuss my original Abyss team. Because the other day, or yesterday actually, I finally got my first 36 stars in any Abyss, and as I showed that in the other video here, I went through all of my different records, right? So as you know, we are approaching the 1 year anniversary of this game, and although I haven't started playing from the very first day, I did start at the end of patch 1.0 or beginning of 1.1. I started, I think, on November 1st or November 2nd, something like that, last year or 3rd even. Yeah, early November. So anyway, I'm not actually approaching my actual physical 1 year anniversary for myself playing this game. However, the game has been out for 1 year already, as we know. September 28th. So with that being said, in this video, I wanted to quickly go through my original team and talk about just talking about it. It's just bringing back memory, going down memory lane basically. How far we've come, right? So look here, like I started in November 2020, and like now it's December. When I'm on this chart here, as you can see, I was only able to get 5 stars, and I only got to floor 9, chamber 2, as you can see. Obviously in November, because I had just started in November last year, so then I was playing the game, like getting the hang of it. Obviously, you have to beat the first 8 floors of the Abyss before you can get to floors 9 through 12, which are repeatable, right? They will change every 1st and 16th of every month, right? So obviously in November I wasn't able to get past the first 8 levels. So anyway, I will throw up the official the thumbnail for this right after this. But basically, my team consisted of, as you can see on the screen here, Jean, who I pulled on the Noel banner for free. Clee with my free wishes, because when you're a new player, you get a bunch of free wishes. Clee was my first banner that I pulled on, and I got her, so I'm super happy. Though they were both C1, C0, and then of course I was lucky and I got Bennett early on, and I also pulled on the Tartaglia child banner, and I got him as well, also C0 at the time, and yeah, and then of course, then moving forward, then Zhang Li's banner was there as well right after, so I got him even though he was not buffed at that time, and I did not even level him or use him much, but I needed to use somebody because I don't have that much characters in my roster. So yeah, he was there. I also used Shang Ling, and I also used Shinyan. One other character that's not listed here is Chichi. So Shang Ling and Shinyan was because Shinyan, I believe, was part of either Child or Zhongli's original banner, right? And I needed more Pyro characters. Back then, Pyro was like OP. I mean, Pyro is still very strong now, but back then, Pyro was the only thing, right? You know, so majority of my original characters were Pyro characters because I want the resonance as well because I was weak, right? And then as you can see here in the second attempt, I was able to go to floor 9, chamber 3 and get still 5 stars. And then of course later on I was able to go a little bit deeper and deeper, so we won't go into that. So this is really just to talk about my original 8, which is Jean, Clee, Shinyan, Chichi, Zhongli, Tartaglia Child, and Shangling and Bennett, right? So how far have I come today? Obviously now I've been able to 36 stars. This is not an accomplishment for anyone else in the sense that you guys probably already got 36 stars long ago and consistently can, but it's an accomplishment for me. So to me, I want to just talk about it. That's all. Yeah, and then so speaking of which, so I want to just quickly go over my 8 characters that I'm going to talk about. So Jean obviously now is 90 out of 90. Back then, obviously no, right? She is rocking the Primordial Jade Cutter from the original Shao spear banner, the Primordial Jade spear and Jade Cutter. Okay, I did not get that spear then, but I got this instead, and I was super happy with it because I was maining Jean. Obviously, I got her summer outfit. With her set, I'm using. I think this has changed over time, but overall, this is her final set that I've been okay with right now. So I give her 2-piece Bloodstain for physical and 2-piece Viridescent for Animo because she can't swirl much really, except for her alt, and then I give her animal damage bonus here, and then a crit damage piece because her sword has crit rate on it, right? Her stats wise, it's not like the best, but it's good, and I still use her. She is still my front runner character, one of them in one of my teams every Abyss even to this day. So she's a very good character. Since then, I now have her at C4. I've lost a few 50/50s on limited banners. I've gotten some extra on standard banners, etc. Right? Her talents are only 8/8 and technically 8 plus 3 because of the constellation. Right? So I should be actually, I actually should invest more in her, but I just feel like she's like a very good character overall, and I should actually invest more in her. So that's something that is to come. Moving along, Clee. So we just go back up here first. So she's obviously 90 now. Yeah, and then we tried out different things, you know, and I only got her weapon after the fact, but I was giving her the Solar Pearl at low refines in the beginning. Yeah, so she now has the Lost Prayer. It's at R2. I talk about this in my Should You Refine Your R5 Weapons? Sorry, should you refine your 5-star weapons video? Go check that out. Okay, so I only refined this to R2 recently because I had 3 copies of it, so I just gave one extra one to her. Yeah, the other one, Ning Guang, is rocking it. And then for her, originally I tried out different things. I did her Crimson Witch 4-piece, etc., etc. So right now I've kind of settled on this for now. So it's a 2-piece Crimson for Pyro and 2-piece Gladiator for extra attack all around, and with a Pyro damage goblet with crit damage because her weapon has crit rate. So whenever you get a crit rate or crit damage weapon, you can then opt to make your crown or your circlet the opposite one, so then you can round it out. She is C1. I got her C1 at the recent Clee 1.6 banner rerun, and I got her within the first 10 polls, so I was super happy. I think first 10-ish or maybe 20 maybe. Yeah. Talent-wise, I gave her 9. I haven't crowned her yet, but I gave her 9 for her normal attack because that's the majority of her damage. Jumpty Dumpty because I did not get C2, so I didn't level this up yet. If I ever get her C2, maybe I will level this up further, but Jumpty Dumpty is consistent damage in the sense that the initial hits, the little bombs afterward are not that consistent. So this is iffy. Her ult, I'm leaving it at 8 for now because her ult is also random when it strikes. So just keep that in mind. Okay, moving along. I guess we'll just talk to the ones that are right next to her. So then there is Child. So Child obviously had a rerun. There is speculation he will be rerun again coming up in 2.2. Check out my upcoming reruns 2.2 predictions. So we'll just start on the screen since I'm here already. So he gives himself +1 for the normal attack, and he gives all his party members +1 as well. That's his passive extra talent. So that's good. So he's actually 8 +1 for normal attack, and then 9 for Foul Legacy, his melee stance basically, and 9 for the ult. I am considering crowning him. I talked about crowns in another video as well. Check that out. I'm considering crowning him, possibly for his melee stance, his E skill. Okay, Constellations. During his rerun, I was able to pick up 2. I lost a bunch of 50/50s. I wanted his C3 because C3 would give him +3 levels on his Foul Legacy melee stance. So unfortunately I didn't, so that's okay. So maybe if he does come back for another rerun, we'll see then. Maybe we'll try our luck then. Yeah, and then for artifacts, originally I tried out different things on him, but now I've settled, and I've rebuilt him multiple times actually, but now I've settled on a 4-piece Heart of the Depth set, focused with a hydro damage and crit rate, okay? And weapon-wise, I gave him Yoimiya's weapon, Thundering Pulse. I only finally recently got to level 90, because resources are very scarce, especially with all the activity in Inazuma from 2.0 to 2.1 right now, right? So that's what he's rocking. And yeah, so again, his crit rate is not the best, and his crit damage is not the best, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's pretty much what he is. And he's a stable character. Again, I used him consistently through all the abysses. With Clee, I used her till recently. I don't use her in the later floors, but I use her in the early floors, like floor 9 and 10, for example. I still consistently use these characters. Okay, so who else do I see here? Okay, so I see Bennett. So everyone obviously loves Benny Boy. Benny Boy started off not being very popular, and then later on people found out that he's like the SS tier, like attack buffer and healer that you have to have in your team because he's really well balanced, right? So, stat-wise, he does not, in my team at least, he does not need crit rate because he won't be on the field to do any extra damage. He is just there to throw his ult down and also maybe to throw an E-skill to burn some, like, you know, cryo or hydro, like, shields here and there, and also to regenerate some energy for his ult, basically, you know? So that's how I use him. I try my best to charge up his energy recharge more so that he can ult more often. Yeah, I'm giving him the Skyward Blade. Again, I R2'd this. Again, it is explained in my should you refine your 5-star weapons video. Check that out. I got these from losing, I think, either one of them was on a rate up or something, I can never remember. One of them may have been from a standard banner or maybe losing a 50/50. Yeah. And then, so I have actually changed all around again, but I've settled on a 4-piece Noblesse set, and I think this is his best. I guess another one that's really good right now, but I'm not going to rebuild, is the Emblem of Severed Fate, because that gives you plus 20% energy recharge for the 2-piece portion, right? And then for the 4-piece portion, you still get a bonus, basically. But this one is good because, like I said, I slam it down and then I pop him out for rotation-wise, and then he'll buff the team, right? Constellation-wise, we all know that we all have him to C6 technically, but we should not ever activate this 6th constellation because it infuses his attacks to be pyro, and it's in this case, it's not as good because you want him to have his alt as pyro so that other characters can keep their original element if they have a different not pyro one, and they can create reactions. But if they go into his circle and you activate C6, it'll change majority of them or many of theirs where it can be overridden into pyro, and then you won't get reactions out of it. Talent-wise, I only recently crowned him. I talk about this again in my crowning video. He is only my 3rd character that I've ever crowned. I crowned him literally like a few days ago or last week. So I crowned his alt, brought up his skill here. This is actually a level 8 then, because plus 3, right? This was supposed to be level 8, but I brought it up to the final, so level 10. And then this one, because I don't use his normal attack, I leave it at 6. You can actually just leave that without leveling it further. Shang Ling, she is a fan favorite. She is free from the very beginning, from Abyss level 3, I believe, and she is a fan favorite. She is useful for the national team, aka, and also the international team, which is the new variation of that. She is definitely consistent with her damage and application of pyro, and basically, again, similarly, her alt is her thing. I would like to crown this. Moving forward, and I've seen other people use lots of damage with Guoba. The only problem with Guoba is that he does not consistently attack properly, because especially also the enemies can dodge out of it, right? So that's why I'm not sure I would crown this, but I would probably level up further should I have the resources. I actually do not use her normal attack as much as I used to. Originally, she was rocking a Crescent Pike and for physical damage, so that's why I brought this up here. But now I don't use her for that anymore. I just pop her in and out. So the goal here is to get her as much energy recharge. I recently, so she's C6 of course. Make sure that you guys get her as high as possible for constellations. I recently changed out her artifacts. I literally recently did it because of the fact that I gave her the catch as a weapon as well. But I changed it out to give her the Emblem of Severed Fate, which now is her best in slot, I believe. Yeah, because of energy, as well as her bonus for energy, etc., right? So again, rocking a pyro damage. Now, because of the fact that she has that Emblem of Severed Fate, I changed out her sands to become an attack percentage. This is okay to have it as an energy recharge one as well, because the more energy her, and also Bennett as well, I use an attack one on him too. But the more energy they have, the more alting they can do, that they can just leave the field afterward, and you can switch out to your main DPS. Okay, so as I mentioned already, I finally got this R5'd and to level 90, okay? That used up pretty much all my resources up to last week, basically. Okay, it's worth it. It's worth fishing those damn fishes, trust me, and like waiting like the reset time, because those damn electro fishes at that shipwreck in Inazuma, you know what I'm talking about. They only reset every 2 days, or possibly 2.5 days, so, and only at nighttime too. So yeah, it sucks, but it's worth the farm, okay? Originally, she was, and I talk about this too in my other video with Raiden and Shang Ling, talking about the R5 the catch versus an R1 engulfing lightning versus an R1 skyward spine. Do go check that out, so I won't go into too much detail here then. Yeah. And so that's that. And then who else did I have in my original team? Oh, definitely I had Shang Ling. He is definitely a fan favorite from the beginning with all the controversy before he got buffed, till after he got buffed and became OP and Geo Resonance was changed. As you can see on the screen, I'll talk about the weapon afterward, but his crit rate also is low. I recently, literally recently, up to yesterday and right now ongoing, I'm rebuilding him. I'm changing out his artifacts. He was rocking a 5-piece gladiator set from way before, okay? I even mixed in some of like his geo sets and all that stuff in between, but I kept it on the 5-piece gladiator because the substats that I got for those were good, where he got good crit rate and good crit damage and good energy recharge, much higher than right now. But I changed out his set, and I'm actually trying to farm the tenacity of the Millilith domain right now, not for Kokomi, but for him actually, because I just wanted to. So anyway, for the weapon, as you saw earlier, he is rocking a Staff of Homa. I'm one of the very few grateful and lucky people who got 2 Staff of Homas back to back without losing the 50-50. And when I say back to back, I didn't have to go to soft pity twice. I got them back to back within I think 1 or 2 extra wishes after that. So I was super lucky because I was using him and Hu Tao. I talked about that in another video as well. At the same time, so I gave them both one of the Staff of Homeless. So hence I mentioned this in my should you refine your R5 should you refine your 5-star weapons video. So check that out. As I just said, I've switched out all his artifacts from the 5-piece Gladiator to a 4-piece Tenacity set because I want him to boost my team basically because he is consistently in my teams. So even to this day. So right now we're trying our best here, okay? I'm grasping at straws because unfortunately, as you know with the domain farming with artifacts, you usually get shit, right? So yeah, majority of them are crap. So I would just say even right now some of them the ones that he has are copium, but I have to do something, right? So yeah, and then this is a different geo piece than he previously had. So yeah, so this is what I'm rocking. I'm gonna probably max this out as soon as I can, and then see if I can continue getting better pieces. Perfect. Constellation-wise, during his rerun, I got his 3 constellations. Excuse me for 1 second, I'll drink some water. Okay, so anyway, yeah, during his rerun, I got 3 of his constellations, so I was happy there. I think some of them were like not full pity, so I was super happy there. But also, I was doing it to get C6 Yan Fei as well. Talents. Oh, excuse me, I need to drink water again. Sorry about that, my throat is just dry. Okay, so then here we go. So then, for his talents, I got him to level 8 because I do use him as a sub DPS role. I do use him normal attack. This, because of Constellation, is +3. It's actually level 8. I actually crowned him. He's the first person I ever crowned for his ult. And I talk about the crowns as well. Okay, so moving along, who else do we have left? We have Shinyan and Chichi. Those are the final 2 to quickly go over here. Let me find them. So with Chichi, because she's a healer, now I used her throughout my early game and my mid game, and I love her. I still even use her to sometimes heal my team right now, but lately I've been lazy and I've just been going to the Statue of 7, or I've been using other healers to do it, such as Sayu, etc. But yeah, because she has this deployable healing for her E, right? So anyway, so I left her at 8, and then she was at 7 for ult because she overheals already. But then because I got her constellations because I lost some 50-50s and got her from some standard banner. So then I got +3 recently, literally recently. It was on one of my polling videos. So yeah, I'm not gonna go over her constellations because again, she's a standard character. So the point is that you wouldn't be able to go for her specifically to get C6 anyway if you wanted to. But anyway, aside from that, her constellations are not that good. Artifact-wise, originally I had 4-piece Maiden set on her, but it was just already overhealing, so I kind of switched it out a little bit. Also, she scales off of attack percentage and attack, I believe. So then I also switched her out, and I just gave her some Maiden pieces that she kept, and then the rest were Bloodstain pieces that I had left over that can increase her attack. And sometimes I do use her to normal attack back then. So that's how I was using her. So I gave her all attack pieces because she scales off of that for her heals. I gave her the flute. I know many people feel that this flute is a piece of garbage. I got this early game and I was able to refine it pretty early on. So I left it on her because it gives her a decent attack percentage and attack, okay? Because of this fact, I didn't bother, and I talked about this in my 5-star weapon video, but I didn't bother because she only heals. She only serves that purpose. I did not feel that I need to give her a 5-star weapon because I had an extra Skyward Blade that I could have given it to her, but I didn't. So that's that. And then stat-wise, I did not bother leveling her past level 80. She just got 1 level on her own because she was in a lot of my teams, and she just little bit by little bit, she got her 1 extra level there. Again, she doesn't need crit rate because she's not going to crit. She's not going to do anything for me. Crit damage also not necessary. All she needs is energy recharge because she doesn't generate much energy and she needs healing. That's all, right? And I didn't even give her the healing bonus anymore. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for that. And then lastly, you'll be thinking that this is super strange, but early on, Shinyan, because people didn't know what they were getting into with her, and she was considered a new character at that time with Diona, right? Also, again, Pyro was very important in the early game. It still is, but there's more choices now for characters, right? So I did level her up, but not as much as I did now recently, because I recently companionship level 10'd her, as you can see on the screen, just because for completion's sake. Yeah, and I was farming those bosses anyway and had leftover crystals. So yeah, I gave her the prototype Archaic R5. It's nothing special, but it's a decent weapon. If you have a craftable billets and you're willing to use them, definitely this is one of the better craftable options. Okay, this works well with any Claymore user. For artifacts, She doesn't do much elemental reactions. She's more of a physical damage carry. So I gave her just pyro damage bonus because I do use her ult often enough, and her E also has some bursts of pyro here and there. And then I gave her Bloodstained. So yeah, so basically that's all. Basically, she has some leftover pieces from other characters. And I didn't fully invest in her further, but then like she has leftover pieces that other characters gave her, and that's fine, right? Did I show this already? Yeah, okay. So yeah, her crit rate and her crit damage, etc. Pyro damage, there we go. Constellation, she's C6 already. Talents, I left her at 777, but because she's C6, she gets 1010 there. I think she's good there. Definitely she can be even stronger, of course. I do use her for the ult. I don't use her anymore, but I didn't mind using her. I don't hate her as much as other people do, but I do agree that she's not that usable in many team comps, unfortunately. So that's the only issue there. Anyway, this was a quick trip down memory road for me. So I just wanted to talk about this because like I said yesterday, I did that Abyss video. Please check it out. That video will not, unfortunately, show my footage of getting the 36 stars, but it was right after I got it because I actually didn't think I was going to be able to get it. I do explain that there because up to that point, I only got up, the highest was 35, literally right before that. So anyway, I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys, like the video, comment, ask me questions. Subscribe, please, if you guys like my content. If you have any questions or any suggestions for future content, please let me know. I'm even considering maybe using this original 8 characters that I talked about here to maybe try the Abyss level 9 again, because as you saw in that screen, the challenge summary, level 9 was the deepest I could get originally when I had these 8, right? So let's just, maybe that could be another video. If you guys are interested, feel free to let me know. Yeah, maybe I could do that. Of course, the Abyss enemies are different now. Obviously, the different ley line disorders and all that is different, and the buffs too is all different, right? But then, my character is also leveled up technically since then too. So you never know. We'll see. I've never tried it with the original 8 anymore on like floor 9 because I obviously use different characters now for the Abyss. But again, Jean, Clee, Zhang Li, and Shang Ling, Bennett, and Child are staples. It's the other Clee I may or may not use anymore, but then like yeah, Clee, Shinyan for sure I don't use anymore, and Chichi I don't use anymore either. So those have been replaced with newer characters, obviously. But this was about the original Abyss team. Anyway, if you guys like this, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And please do check out my other videos. Thank you.